Good
Hi,
evening.
everybody.
Hi.
Welcome to America's Third Party.
We are America's third party's centrist movement forming in the middle of the political spectrum. And if you want to ask yourself what you can do to change the world we're living in, because I don't think the world's that great right now, we believe a third party can do that. We believe we can come up with better answers to problems than the two-party system has come up with. We also believe that we have solutions to the job problem in America that the two parties are neglecting. So how was your day today, Sarah?
Good. I had a little job just helping students learn, but let's talk a little bit more about how we can help solve the job problem in America that you were saying
Exactly.
that the current administration has problems with.
Well, we can't just pretend like throwing money at problems, like giving huge amounts of money to the construction crews that are working on the highways. That's not going to create more jobs.
Do we need more infrastructure?
We do, but we don't need to waste our money on huge construction costs. And even in our town, Mount Vernon in Washington, they put $18 million into a bridge that essentially we don't even own. It's borrowed. They're
Into
borrowing
leasing.
a bridge, leasing a temporary bridge repair on the Mount Vernon bridge construction collapse. And we're not even going to have a bridge there. And they're going to build another bridge.
They're
So-
actually in the process of building a permanent bridge
Right.
while they're leasing this temporary bridge.
Right.
And the lease for the temporary bridge is $18 million.
18 million.
So crazy.
Yeah. And that it doesn't include next year's cost.
So how can we go about with infrastructure without doing this leasing and without doing
Sure.
all this contracted labor?
Technology. Key ways we could patch roads. We have the design for a road patching system that moves down one lane of the highway and fixes it as it goes. It scrapes the old pavement or concrete up and remashes it with binding agents and produces a brand new highway going down the road at 2 to 3 miles an hour. I mean, that to me is a modern innovation that needs to be put out there.
So
Patch crews,
one
automated patch
huge,
crews.
huge vehicle
Yeah.
that's like it automatically it cuts up the pavement
right.
and then as it's cutting up the pavement and taking that pavement into one kind of dump area, then it's also laying down
No,
fresh
the pavement
at
is
same time.
automatically recycled on board, crushed, recycled, and rebound into brand new
I
pavement
wonder
on
about-
board.
yeah.
It's the size of 2 semi trucks. The concept that I'm proposing, and it could be manned by 10 people, and we could have automated slow signs up ahead with motion sensors, and the entire signaling system could be automated. We wouldn't need to spend a lot of money on road repair. But for some reason, the Democrats have dumped billions into $787 billion into the ARRA,
So-
American Recovery and Reinvestment Act. That's a serious amount of money.
That's
And
pretty-
we didn't get any jobs out of that, really.
It's pretty interesting. One person says that they already have a similar system to
Yeah.
what you're talking
I
about.
know.
If you guys have a
I know.
link to any of that current system, I would love to read more about it because David has been talking about this idea for a number of years, and I'm glad to hear that it's already in place.
Well, I'm moving on up to a brand new technologically driven world where there is automation. And I'm sorry, Mr. Mike over at Vaughn, you said that's cutting jobs, Dave. No bueno. Excuse me. I didn't say I was cutting jobs. I said we're automating. That doesn't mean I want people to stand out there on a road crew breathing tar into their lungs. You know, I see these guys getting lung cancer standing out there right now, and you're saying those are good jobs, Mr. Mike. The reality is the people working on these units will be wearing face gear to protect them from absolutely zero carbon emissions should go into their lungs, all right? The jobs that we need in America are going to be clean jobs. We don't need more spending projects like the Spendocrats have put together. That's a great name, Blue
Okay,
Medic.
so
Thank you.
You talk about the clean jobs. Could you
Clean jobs,
describe
yeah.
more about these clean jobs?
Sure, yeah. Solar rooftop installation crews. Every neighborhood could use one. You guys could start a small business. The government could front you the initial product to put up there along with a lease on various cranes that can lift a roll of carpeted solar panels, like a carpet roll of solar panels, of amorphous solar panels that roll right out onto rooftops in America. We put binding agents and all kinds of silicone around it to lock down and a few riveting tools, and boom, you've got a brand new rooftop. That's a clean job. That's something that'll lead to money, lower cost electricity, and we could use that money savings to actually pay back into the energy costs our country is experiencing and actually pay for the panels over time, right out of your electric bill.
So we'd have these panels,
carpet rolls on
that's
top of the
a
roof. Yeah,
solar panel that's in a big carpet roll that we
exactly.
lay out
Yeah,
for clean
anything
job.
is possible.
That's a good idea. I like that clean energy, and I like the idea of having clean energy that we export to other countries as well.
I shall team up with every Democrat that wants what Obama wants to have happen right now and isn't getting Obama to do it. I want your vote. I want all Democrats to vote for me in the 2016 election. I know because I believe that we've got a pathway that isn't getting done with a guy who stands there and reads off a teleprompter going, well, make no mistake about it. Let's be clear. If I were Trayvon, it could have been me. I mean, we don't need a person like that who turns this into a major issue when the real issue is jobs in America. The real issue is where is the money? It's like that old advertisement, where's the beef? I say, where's the money? And you know where the money is? Morgan Stanley just declared they had 43% more income in the second quarter this year. Morgan Stanley is now saying they had 43% more income. This is what's going on. The banks, JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, Citigroup, banner years. They're experiencing almost a nirvana moment in the economic world. Meanwhile, we are all suffering, penny pinching, trying to get up enough money for a gallon of milk. And these fat cats in Washington are living high on the hog. And we've got nothing here in middle America land. We're living on Hamburger Helper and potatoes, and seriously, that's what's going on in this wonderful world that you guys think is just peachy. Welcome to America's Third Party, and what we are about is getting the media to face up to the fact that our country is going down the tubes and Obama's done nothing to prevent it from happening. And the Republicans were right. We cannot afford to spend as much as he's spending. And I will agree with the Republicans on that, and I want your vote too. Because this country is going nowhere. We got Obama turning a blind eye to the NSA watching us secretly every day when we're on our networks on Skype or phone or whatever. The NSA openly admitted that they're watching and Obama's okay with that. Speaker of the House Boehner is okay with that. The Republicans are okay with that. That's a huge problem and we need to deal with that problem. Dude, your hair. What's going on with my hair? What do you mean?
You look fantastic.
It's irradiated. Yeah. Well, that's plutonium, man. I'm getting a few clicks of plutonium every day when I go outside. It's a little bit weird. Just, I kind of like knock them off my head. If you breathe them, you get lung cancer. But you know that Obama canceled radiation testing on the Western Seaboard? Yeah. I got Democratic friends that are pissed off about this. They can't even believe this guy. He didn't follow any of his mandates. He could care less about our entire environment. He's letting the entire thing turn into a disaster. And we've got Republicans who think that we need to get back to some core values and blah, 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 blah. And you guys are in the room right now going, yeah, we need to get back to what America stands for. David John Spahn is talking about democracy. There's no evidence that democracy ever appeared in the Constitution. I read the Constitution. I can tell you, there is no mention of the word democracy in this Constitution. But do you know what this is? This is the bureaucracy. This is a redacted letter from social welfare giving illegal aliens, non-U.S. citizens, anybody collecting welfare, a 23% increase in their income. Meanwhile, old people like your grandpa and grandma are living on a fixed income and their Social Security only went up 2%. It's not. No, I found it in a dumpster. Anyway, apparently dumpsters are public property. You didn't know that? There you go. Thank you. It was a Xerox copy from a Xerox copy. But I found out that our government is giving 23% more income to welfare recipients. And they are giving more than 2% to Social Security income. Isn't that interesting? Thank you. Let's talk about golf and Zimmerman. Yes.
Well,
let's just not talk about politics.
Someone just sent us a link that I said, please send us the link if you, with the information David was talking about in the chat room.
Oh.
And they actually did.
Good.
There's a place called hippaving.com, HIP
Cool.
paving.com. And they actually had a project
Right on.
in 2009 where they used a similar process to what you're talking about.
Yes, I
and
would.
they did it in Walt
Sunstar.
Disney World.
Sunstar just asked a very profound question. So Walt Disney World did a paving project that was really cool. Okay. Sunstar just said, David, if you know chemo or radiation would save your life, would you go through with them? If I knew for a fact that radiation or chemo would save my life, yeah, and it was affordable, and it was paid for, and it wouldn't destroy me financially or my family, yeah, I would go for it. Yeah, this Disney project is fantastic. Thanks for the link on this. This is something I'm going to add to my whole delicious link library on our star link button. Thank you. Well, this is not an offshoot of lamerock.com. This is coolrock.com, Scott. You know that. Some of you are watching the show at our chat hub, coolrock.com. If you're doing that, you're cool because
Throughout
you
the
can move
years,
all of your
man's ingenuity has
everything.
brought about
The tables,
tremendous
everything's
progress,
adjustable, resizable.
but also
It's your
produced some
page.
serious
It's
problems
yours to
along the way.
customize. That's what we
Most
like about
notably,
Coolrock.
the
So if you
negative
guys wanna have
impact of
multiple chat shows
development
going
on
at the
planet
same
Earth
time,
has
we
become
direct you to
more
our
and more obvious in
coolrock.com
recent
chat
years.
hub.
However,
Anyway,
the
moving
engineering
on, the idea of a country that's just sitting back and watching. See, this is the problem. We can't really stay spot on and talk about one specific topic at a time because we are literally being bombarded on a daily basis with one issue after another that the government is just not solving. So it's not a question of what has the government done. They've done nothing. All they do is confuse problems. All they do is make people think, gosh, the government can't do anything. Well, when we talk about a repaving process like this program here at hippaving.com, we could easily do something. We could fix the infrastructure in this country without spending all the money we currently are donating to contractors that are on the government tit. Detroit is now facing a bankruptcy, but they say there's a judge that has overturned the bankruptcy already, claiming that the pensioners, there's laws saying the pensioners can't lose their pensions in Detroit. Isn't that interesting? A city is going to have to make, the state law requires them to make their pensioners payment, even though they have no money. So they can't declare bankruptcy. So our country is clearly reeling, and I got to tell you folks, if you really believe that everything's just going to be fine, then I guess you're in for the biggest surprise of your life. That's my belief.
So,
my contention is you're about to see the biggest surprise of your life unfolding right before your very eyes in the next 2 years.
how can people prepare now for this big surprise?
Well, number one, we all have to stock up on food. That's really important. Food and water, and get a filter system. But I'm talking about protecting your family right now, okay? You guys think this is all fun and games, and you take another hit on your crack pipe, Rodney. But seriously, this is not going to be pretty. Get ready for real, serious problems evolving. What I've seen over the past 4 years is Obama has essentially ignored every single symptom in our society, has done nothing of his own accord to change what's happening, and has literally just kind of used rhetoric and played disinformation games with the American people, sidetracking us on comments and arguments with the Republican Party. Well, we've been in World War III for over 12 years now, nukes. Yeah. 2001 was the beginning of World War III, and it'll go down in history as the beginning of World War III. The thing about world wars, you never know when you're in one. It started with the 45 nations, the coalition of the willing, attacking Iraq. And it was designed by the Illuminati to go forward. It is a plan that has been put in place to turn all of our countries into war zones. That's what's going on, man. If you don't believe it, look around you. Look at how they're fanning the flame of war with Syria right now. You're seeing John McCain and Barack Obama and all the Democrats saying, well, we've got a problem here, obvious human rights, and they really want, the protesters want us to send weapons in. They want to make a no-fly zone. They want to initiate an air war with Bashar al-Assad. Hello, is anybody out there? Are your brain cells clicking? Hello?
I really think
God,
it's
I mean,
ridiculous
well,
that
fluoridation is going big time here.
I think it is ridiculous that we're going against Syria. I mean, I think the majority of American people just want to believe that they themselves are safe and really aren't concerned with what happens with the rest of the world, fortunately or unfortunately.
You're right.
It's just the way it is.
We just want to all be brain dead and be happy.
We want to believe that we ourselves are safe, and if it doesn't affect people directly or individually, they often don't care.
I guess we don't. Yeah, we'll just let it all fall
Some
apart.
people feel that we shouldn't be policing other countries.
I agree. I don't
feel
believe
that
we should.
shouldn't be
we shouldn't be
policing other countries.
Look, and I'm a very anti-war person. I'm a non-interventionist. I don't believe we should go over there and start kicking butt. We're not going to be able to stop Bashar al-Assad. I can assure you he's going to get backing from the government of Russia. He's definitely got a port there with Russia. They can get streams of massive amounts of military shipments in. This will be a bloodbath. If that's what you guys want, go right ahead. Sit back and watch it all happen. Allow your president and John McCain, Mr. Straight Talk Express, to initiate another war. Go ahead. You guys, you've made the mistake. As a voting bloc, the American people have made a mistake every single election. And now you're going to make an even bigger mistake by passing up on an opportunity to have a third party. That's what's really sad.
We need all of your
you know?
help to get David on the ballot, to have a third party.
We're not doing this
Get
for our
America's
health.
third party on the ballot.
Yeah, I'm not doing this because I like people watching me on television. I actually could care less. I really don't care. I don't live for this adulation or non-adulation. I'm not here to make a name for myself. I'm here to solve a problem.
I think one of the
No,
things-
collective ownership is not better, Charlie Rose. Collective ownership lowers the incentive of farmers to want to actually grow things. It happened in the Soviet Union, Charlie Rose. The fact is, farmers are not interested in growing things for a collective, unless they can get some benefit themselves. Even the current president of North Korea, Kim Jong-un, the divine ruler, has offered to give 34% back to all the farmers to keep for their own purposes. So even Kim Jong-un is intelligent enough to get away from communism. Charlie Rose, you're clearly a Marxist ideologue. You have no relevance to the current world we're living in, man. Yeah, there's no such thing as a collective. It's the people that have collect from the people that don't have. Big Pharma has got to have its wings cut a little bit, Limp Pit. Yeah, I can't really move in and overregulate Big Pharma because I don't believe in overregulating companies. I want to see the free market prosper. However, we give, through the National Institute of Health, over 45% of all research and development money comes from tax dollars. We can cut that and redivert that money to our own generic pharmaceutical company called the U.S. Pharmacy Company. Yeah, we can make low-cost pharmaceuticals for everybody in America that would be life-saving, would fill a marketplace, a need, and actually stimulate the free market. Next question.
Yeah, how many poor people do you know who are doing well in this world or in this country?
I believe people thrive on private ownership. It's the best part of capitalism.
I do believe that people thrive on private ownership insofar that there's a sense of, they thrive on it because there's a sense of pride in something that you worked hard to obtain and own. And when you can say, I own it, rather than we all own this, it's a different mindset, really. And
It is.
that's the key, and that's a gain of capitalism. And that's why capitalism has done so well that it's actually become the economic model in China, which is considered a communist state politically, but a capitalist state economically.
Exactly. Hey, I live in a home, okay? You call it a modular. I don't care. It could be a cardboard box. At least it's a nice home, all right? It's not about characterizing people as being anything they're not at this point. If you guys could all have your own house, wouldn't you feel better? That's what American capitalism is all about. Yeah. So what's keeping this country from making the political decisions to open up ownership of houses? Well, what's kept it from happening is that two parties have been providing a very ripe place for mortgage companies to prosper. With the default mortgage rates being so incredibly low, at one point houses being offered up during the subprime days, and then the market crashing, we've had another layer, a tier of mortgage crises evolving today. Foreclosures are ramping up right now. So you're going to see another mortgage collapse very shortly. And we can save this. We can save these houses. The government can buy these houses up at a discount, and we can start renovating them right away.
Yeah, I think the big problem with capitalism is the fact that it has led to such a such disparity that really there are people that are born into poverty that will not get out of poverty. They say that actually people will earn either 20% more or less than their fathers earned in their lifetime. It's very extremely difficult for someone to break out of their income level.
Yeah, exactly.
That they're born into.
The thing is, capitalism unrestrained will lead to monopolies and huge, very powerful interests controlling everything.
It already is happening.
It happened. It's over. The American people will have nothing, and basically you guys might as well just flush your savings down the toilet. That's exactly what's going to happen. Peter Schiff, the person who talked about hyperinflation, Peter Schiff is saying now that 2/3 of this nation is going to lose everything coming up in the next collapse. I'm not wearing sweatshop clothing. This clothing was handmade by a woman named, I don't know her name, but she was American, living in a very poor area of the country, Arizona. I'm sorry, she was, yeah. I should take the shirt off and give it, not Lupita. Her name was probably, who knows? How do I know her name? No, my sister gave me this. It was a gay lumberjack, I believe, sold it to some used clothing store, and now I wear it. Do not say anything negative about David Owen. That's right. It's illegal to say anything. Thank you. I didn't kick you, Owen. It was unnecessary. Sarah kicked you.
I did not need you to see what Owen was writing about you.
Oh, good. Thank you. Because Sarah's trying to shield me from the harsh reality of haters. Thank you, Sarah.
Yes, I am.
I want us all to be happy. I want us all to be like we're in the garden of our mind. Oh, you're a lumberjack and I'm okay. Uh-huh.
Dave is the only one off limits. You can say anything negative you want about me.
Won't you say, David, you're so nice. Won't you be my neighbor? Capitalism is great, Mr. Mike. And you too can start up a hot dog stand in your local neighborhood. Would you like to see a demonstration from Mr. Slim Jim?
Should we stop the recording?
Not yet, no. I think we're going to wrap up here. What I'm trying to say in a nutshell, folks, is you can sit back and be completely mindless of how controlled our government is by moneyed interests. You can just blow it off and say, well, I'll wait a little longer and maybe it'll all just disappear. And you might wonder why your pension checks are disappearing if you're a Detroit government worker. And you'll not know that it's because the entire economy is collapsing and you're just sitting around going, well, whatever. You see, that is going to be our biggest fault, not doing anything. The only thing we learn about history is that we never learn from history. That's the only thing we seem to learn, is that we never learn. Well, it's more than just dreaming. It's about getting a brain. It's about filling the empty space between your skull, inside your skull. It's about actually nourishing yourself with knowledge. It's about using the internet and finding out all the information you can and coming to some qualified, enlightened, and informed decisions. You see, that is what is inherent in the word that's missing from our Constitution, in a democracy. And I believe a democracy can coexist with the republic. But right now, our democracy has been shunned, our free press is non-existent, and the republic is eroding. Our First, Second, and Fourth Amendment rights are pretty much dissolving right now. And you're sitting back going, well, whatever. And then we find out in the long run, and we look back at our life, and you'll be dead soon. Don't worry. It'll all happen like that. You look back in that final moment and say, wow, I could have done something. There was an opportunity back then when I was 17, 18, 19, 25 years old, when some guy on the internet was screaming out for some help to start a third party. And then your oxygen levels will disappear, and you'll go into that void they call the afterlife. And whether you go to heaven or to hell, won't even matter even if there is a heaven or a hell, or if there isn't one. It won't even matter, because you won't matter. You'll be like a piece of dust in the infinite universe that Carl Sagan talked about when he was living. The infinite universe. And we're all just little specks of dust. But you know something? We're not making it any better for the next guy that fills that place between your skull. The next person that occupies the human form, whether it's a roach that's elevated from the dark recesses of devolution, that comes through a radiation blast and somehow becomes the next human species, who knows? But bottom line is, we, the human species, is not improving the planet. Do I have an argument from any of you? Can you say, oh, we are, we're making all kinds of new things and new gadgets, and we have video reality, and Fukushima is draining nuclear radiation into our ocean. 3 Olympic-sized swimming pool filled with nuclear radiation has spilled into the Pacific Ocean and continues to dribble radiation into your life. And you think it's okay. I see you, Mad Dog. I see you. You're not invisible to me. I know all of you are concerned that we have to do something. And Antenna TV says, David, you are much too left for me. Well, I support the right to bear arms. I want a strong border defense against Mexico and the hordes of illegals coming into our country. And you say I'm too left for you. Wow. Boy, are you an idiot. I'm to the right of the Republican Party on that one, dude. And I also want our country to get intelligent about what we're doing with our jobs. The two parties have globalized and outsourced, and you guys are sitting there going, well, I voted Republican because I wanted more jobs. Or I voted Democrat because I wanted more jobs. They aren't making jobs. The Democrats, Republicans are outsourcing. They believe in globalization. They believe in sending our jobs to New Delhi. And you're saying I'm too left for you. That's pretty funny. Hey guys, well listen, this show is a constant reminder to me that I have to keep doing it. We have to keep the message alive, and people, no matter if you disagree with me or not and find me to the left or to the right on a lot of issues, we need this for the process. We need somebody who's going to stand up to the mainstream media, the moron sheeple that are sitting there listening to the mainstream media, and say, hey, things aren't okay in America. We're screwed up, and it's not getting any better. Thank you for watching, and check out Conspiracy Monday. We are going to be doing a show which will be dealing with some of the incredible things happening behind the scenes of the Boston Marathon attackers, the evolution of that trial, all the different things spinning off or not spinning off from our government that are taking away our Fourth Amendment rights. So bear in mind, there's no Democrat out there talking right now as loud as I am about the NSA secretly watching our privacy, and that's BS. That's taking down our republic, and I will not stand for it as a citizen. Thank you for watching. Would you like to say any parting words?
I just want to say that we do have a show every weeknight from 6 to 8 Pacific, and you know, you don't necessarily have to watch our show. would love for you to watch our show and
Sure.
love for you to get to know David and I a little bit better. But really, go pursue your dreams. Go
right.
live your life and enjoy your life, whatever is coming,
Yeah.
and do what you want with your life. Dream
Yes.
big and pursue it.
Spend the last days of your life doing something you enjoy.
Live every day as if it's your last.
Live every day as if it's your last.